haven't not worked out in like almost 2 months at least. I mean, not hard. It's been ever since it started getting hot. I am completely out of shape, but not as bad as I was this time last year. Oh. It's just hard to get motivated in the heat. Which this ain't hot, it's just getting re-motivated after not doing anything. Or not doing much. And I'm a freaking gym rat. I mean, I used to be a gym rat. Health is very important. Exercise is very important. In my life. Whew. I need to do some squats. That's about the only muscle I really haven't hit, or some glutes yet, and some. I probably hit some quads a little bit, not much, but a little. I need to get legs. Legs are probably the most important in my opinion. Legs are your wheels. Without legs, it's a little bit rougher. Without any of our goodies, it's a little bit rougher. But strong legs equals strong life. If you got strong legs, you're going to outlive a lot of folks. Just because you can get to water, you're able to get to food. The sun is starting to get ready to come up any time. We'll be peeking over the horizon here directly. It usually takes a good solid month of, at least a good. It takes, they say 21 days to create a habit, which is pretty accurate. But once you get, it takes about a month to get back motivated, getting back into the swing of things, get back in the stroke, so to say. Whenever you kind of take a lay, whenever I take a layoff, getting at my older age. The longest I ever took off in my earlier years of weightlifting, I took off because I got injured one time. I never really even took off until I got injured, and I was off for like 2 months. Oh man, talk about, and I was so pumped and ready to get back to exercising. It's kind of like, I don't know, it's just I was just so ready. Woo-wee. I remember trying to get back, thinking after 2 months of not working out, when you're younger and you're strong and got that youthism on you, after not working out for 2 months, you still think you're strong, and shoot, you lose a lot of gains, strength gains, size gains in 2 months. Without really hitting anything, you lose a lot. And let me tell you, the pain that you put your body through, whew, just from like stimulation, from lack of stimulation over like the 2 months you can take off, and then you go in there and you get a good solid pump and really hit it hard like you've been in the gym every day for the past 2 months you've been off. Whew. That pain. But after a while that pain goes away. After you get back in shape, and you sit there and just work, and you just search for that pump, that pain, that pump. But I don't look for that pump no more. I don't care about getting that pump. That's not what I'm in it for anymore. I'm more about the mobility these days. It's all about mobility. Back in the day, it was about strength and getting it all out. At my older age, I'm playing the long game, lightweight, many reps, basically body weight. As many reps as I possibly can, and then a lot of movements, like these Chinese movements, like yoga type stuff and Ching Li, just all this stuff, just movements. That's where it's at for me at this point. Bench pressing 320 pounds at 51 years old, I'm good with all that. I don't need that anymore. I've already released all that. It takes a lot of anger to push that kind of weight. I mean, it did for me. I'm done with it. I don't need that no more. I'm over it. I'm just going to do some flow moves. That's all. Just nice and flow. And stay strong enough where I can still do some pull-ups. You know, I've got a lot of tendonitis built up in my forearms, and pull-ups are very hard to do. I can only do about 5, not lack of strength, because of this tendonitis flaring up. And as soon as I start feeling that tendonitis flaring up in my elbow, boy, I pull off of it. I mean, I fought that. I have fought this tendonitis. I remember the very first time I got it, and it took me about 3.5, 4 years to get over it. It's brutal, so brutal. But I've just learned that it's about stretching and strengthening. The tendons in there, is what I learned way back when, is they get hard like a leather belt and don't have no elasticity in them and no stretch, and they just tear easily. You gotta have some elasticity, so that's why it's important to stretch them ligaments out, or whatever, the tendons out, the tendons. Stretch them tendons. Because if they're not stretched, they're gonna be hard as a leather, and as soon as you put some strain on them, they're gonna tear, and that's what that pain is that tear. Like a leather belt tearing. You want them to stretch. So I try to stretch quite often. Not as often as I should, though. That's the thing. I could do so much better as much time as I have on my hands. It's just this heat. I mean, that's an excuse, and it ain't no excuse, but it is an excuse. It's hot, and I'm not into it. I can't stand going to gyms. I cannot stand going to a gym anymore. I can't stand it. I don't like being around the people. I just don't like it. Plus 15 minutes to the gym and 15 minutes to the back home. Hell, that's 30 minutes. I could have done, at least had a half a workout in. Some days a full workout. Just going to the gym and back. I can, you know, I'm all about saving. That's what I'm about. That was the line of work I was in that caused me to do time the way I treated time. You know, just flow as fast, as much done as possible in one day. From waking up to stretching to working out to going to make as much money as possible in the shortest amount of time as possible. Get all the education I could when I got off work, get back into the gym, work on my dirt bikes, try to eat dinner with my family. You know, if I could just it was brutal. Time management was very important for me. I mean, it had to be, because as busy as I was, time management. And I just can't stand going to the gym anymore. I can't stand it. I tried, you know, I've been off work for 4 years, and I've tried to go to the gym, and just watching people stand around and chit-chat with each other and not be putting in their work. Man, when I'm in the gym, when I'm in the gym, I ain't there to socialize. Fuck away from me. I got shit, you know, people all in their headphones and stuff, which I can't complain. I can't say nothing, because I used to be one of them people with the headphones. But I can work out in pure silence now. But it's just different. I get it. That music can be motivating. I get it. But it's just, I've grown to the point to where I just look at these people and I just like, it's sickening to see people the way they go. I can't stand it. Just because I've grown the way I've grown. That's it. It ain't nothing against them. It's just the way I've grown. I'm different. I'm a loner. I'd rather be alone and not. I don't want to go into the gym and spend 2 hours in the gym socializing for an hour and a half of the gym, and I mean, I got more important things to do with my life than sit around and just chit chat about who won the goddamn ball game or who freaking done whatever or whatever. Screw all that. But hey, that's what some people are into. You know, it's better than sitting home alone, I guess, for some. Not for me. I'd rather. Some people need that fake socialism crap. It's just fake. I mean, it's just words. It don't even have no meaning other than people just distracting themselves from what's within them. That's it. They're just being distracted from what's truly within, from having to search, to have to feel what's within themselves. It's just a distraction for them. Is what I think. Most people, you know, during that pandemic, I mean, there's probably, I don't know, a lot went down during them pandemics when people were having to stay home and whatnot, being able to socialize as much. There's a lot of stuff went down because people cannot handle being by themselves. And I just cannot get that because for me, that's where it's at. And probably they're like, man, this guy, and I mean, I'm sitting here, this is like heaven for me, sitting here just in complete silence, one with everything, including myself. For me, that is freaking heaven. And people drive by and look at me and think how, oh man, that guy must be lonely or whatever they think. I mean, I don't even know what people think anymore. You know, I know they don't think like me. I don't know what these suckers think, but I look at them and I would not want to live their shitty lives. I don't care what they drive, how big their house is. Just watching their fake social programming, socializing. That's all it is social programmed socializing. And it's freaking sickening. It's gross. Pathetic. That's what's crazy about life. We all been raised in different cultures, different environments. We all have our own opinions and we judge our lives off others. That's one thing I don't do though, is I don't judge others. I just look at their lives and I'm just like, man, I would not want to be like that. I don't care if they have freaking Lamborghinis and I don't care. I don't care if everything they invest in turns to gold. I would not want their fake ass socialism social life. Not a chance. I can lean up against a tree, pretty nice cool weather, little breeze, out in the middle of nowhere, and I can enjoy my time. Need that tree in nature all day long. And just do what I do. Create. Like gods do. I am a creator, just like any other god. We are all gods in this realm. We are all gods. We are co-creators, which makes us gods. And most of y'all do not act like gods. You just a little whatever you are. But it's not your fault. But it is your fault. But it's not your fault, it's just the way the system is designed. Only a few get out. Only a few get it. Because you're blinded. You got the veils over your eyes. But it's not your fault. It's your training. I mean, it's programming from birth. That's the problem. You know, your parents downloading what was downloaded into them, and it wasn't their fault. I mean, this human species is 200,000 to 300,000 years old. I mean, very easily once you grasp the concept of how humanity's mechanisms work, very easily controlled, very easily controlled, and they've been 200 to 300,000 years. This particular human species has been around. You don't think they don't know how to control that thing? Come on now, give me a break. And it just really depends on which scientist you talk to too, on how old we are. Now, I don't know how they come up with their numbers. I don't know how they can come up with a 200, 300,000 year old species out of 14.5 billion year old universe, supposedly. We're not even from this planet, not this gene. We are a genetically modified version of whatever species is from this place. Here comes the sun. The light is about to be upon us. And the humidity. And then the heat. And I'm gonna be inside come probably about 9 o'clock, 9:30. It's supposed to get up in the hundreds this week. I hit the 3 digits last week too, a couple of times. It's supposed to get up there this week for sure though. I will be indoors under that air conditioner in front of that fan. Enjoying my time. I'd love to go ride my bicycle right now. Hell, I can't freaking see. I'll wait till I can just, I already can't see, but whenever I can just, like if I can see almost toward the end of my driveway with the way I see, which still can't see right, but at least from about here to the edge of my driveway, at about 12 miles an hour, I still can't see chug holes or rocks and stuff like that. That's the problem, but even at least once I memorize, that's why I stick to the same paths pretty much every single time I ride my bicycle, so I know where all the chug holes in town are. But sometimes I'll be on a different road, and I mean, man, I've splatted some freaking potholes, some that you can freaking sink in. One time I was riding my bicycle in just in an area I didn't know, and it was real shaded, a lot of trees on both sides of the road, and it just shaded the whole road. And I mean, I was cruising in there like I could see. I was, full throttle, 20 mile an hour, and there was a big old tree laid across the road, and I didn't see it. And man, I hit that sucker throwed me, and let me tell you, that asphalt, I sat on that couch for 2.5 weeks healing up, putting some skin back on my body. I mean, my hands were chewed up, my stomach, my chest, my knees. I didn't take a shower for about 2 weeks. I just laid on that couch trying to regrow some skin. Woo! But you just expect the roadway to be clear. Wouldn't expect no damn tree to be laying across there. And I like the wind in my hair. Sometimes it's just so dangerous, and I'm getting so old that I'm getting old, not so old. I'm getting older where I just don't heal as quick as I once did. And I'd rather just walk around. It's healthier anyway. But I still like to get out and get on that bicycle and at least get some wind in my hair while I could. I rode my dirt bikes as long as I could until it was just way too sketch. I mean, I was even putting shoulder pads on and stuff when I was out riding motocross because I wasn't ready to quit, but it was fine. It was just time. I just couldn't see anymore. I mean, I already couldn't see, but when you get older, you start, certain abilities you start getting a little bit less of, and eyesight was one of mine. And I was already born with horrible, bad eyesight. I only had one eye. I was only born with basically one eye. I could just see like light perception out of the other one basically. And my left eye adjusted to that when I was a kid, trying to balance, in my brain, trying to balance out what I'm seeing. And it messed up my brain. There's nothing wrong with my one left eye. There's absolutely nothing. It's perfectly healthy as most 20/20 vision people. It's just it rewired my gosh damn brain. It's called amblyopia. And I just can't see right. I mean, I just can't see right, dude. Fuck. I can see, maybe a good 12, 15 feet if I can at least see, unless it depends on the lighting. Sometimes I can't even see people from that far away. I won't even see a person walking on the side of the road. That's why I try to stay toward the center of the road, unless I know there's a pothole coming up. But if the lighting is just right, I'll be able to tell the difference between like a trash can on the side of the road and a person on the side of the road. If the lighting is hit just perfectly and they're like moving or whatever, I could be like, oh, that's a person. I mean, it's just weird how my eyes are. That's how I don't know how to explain it. I can show you pictures how it's similar how my eye sees, but I can't. It's hard to explain. I just can't see right. But I was raised in regular public school. I look normal. I act normal. It's just I have these good seeing eye hands. I mean, they just kind of like how people read Braille with their fingerprints, with their fingers or whatever. I mean, that's how I worked my plumbing job and everything. I couldn't see my work, like when I was up under the kitchen sink and looking for leaks or whatever. I used my fingers and my touch, my feel, and my light. I wear certain gloves, like a black glove or whatever, or a dark blue glove, and swipe my finger across where these leaks are, looking for leaks, and I'd have to use my light and track down where the leak was coming from, like get some moisture on my dark glove, use my light and see if there's moisture on it, because I could not see. I mean, but, I was just raised normal, I looked normal, I acted normal. You just would not know unless you just know that I cannot fucking see it. even if we're face to face, and I cannot see you in your eyes. I cannot see, and I've never had that ability. Facial recognition, like from even 15, 20 feet away, I've never had whenever I was even in my best eyesight. I've never had facial recognition my entire life. So I always used demeanor, like how a person walked. I'm like, oh, that looks like, oh, what's his name walking? And then I'd hear somebody talking, and I would hear their voice from like 30, 40 feet away, and I'd be like, that was whoever, because of their distinguished voice, or the way they walk, just their demeanor about them. I can tell who they are, but facial recognition, never had it, unless we're face to face, and then I still couldn't see into your eyes, unless the light is hitting them just right. I've never had facial recognition, or where you can see into people's souls and stuff. But I can feel your energy. I can feel you. See, that's what I mean. Whenever certain people get intuition, but they also have the visual mixed with their intuition. Where my intuition is so much stronger than somebody with good eyesight, because I have to use that a little bit, because for whatever gosh damn reason, I don't know all the science. I mean, I do. I don't know how to explain it. Shit, who gives a shit anyway? I'm just talking. Let's enjoy the sunrise. I used to feel guilty to get on my bicycle and go ride it around town. I used to feel guilty. Because everybody's like, well, you ride that bicycle around all the way everywhere. You sure can't see good enough to ride that bicycle everywhere. And it used to make me feel guilty for the way my eyesight was. I think that's messed up how society can trigger that, which I don't care no more. I can give two shits less about it. But that's just part of growth. Society's shit, man. But it was my own fault for even allowing the society to make me feel that way. But I don't feel that way no more. But whenever that man said that to me, and it was just in maybe once or twice since I've not been able to work and not drive and stuff, that I've actually had to feel that way. Because I usually don't care what anybody thinks about me. I could give two shits less. But whenever we have that, he was like, well, you sure see good enough to ride that bicycle. I don't, questioning my eyesight and stuff, like I can't, anyway, whatever. And to make me, I don't feel that way no more. I can't help the way I see. I can't help it. It just is what it is. I can't. I'm very happy I can get on my bicycle and ride. Still, I ain't gonna feel guilty for that. Should I? If I had to, if it was, it's very, very close. I mean, I don't ride it that much because of the danger factor. But I I don't ride the trails much, especially in the summertime right now because there's trees on both sides of the trails and it's so shaded and dark even during the middle of the day. It's just so dark and I just can't see. You know, I can't. There's a lot of times I've almost ran people over. You know, like people laying on the asphalt taking naps or whatever. Since I've been riding this trail for the last 4 years, I mean, I've almost ran some people, and we're talking doing 5-6 miles. You know, just putting around and just not be able to see right in front of me. And then just for whatever reason, a movement or the way the light hits them with a movement, and I just happened to see them at the right time. One time, this lady was sitting up, probably meditating, whatever she was doing, on a blanket, just doing her own thing. And I mean, I was fitting to flatten her down because I'd never seen her. I was probably from here to, I don't know, 5-6 feet away, just guessing. And it was overhanging. It was early in the morning. The trail was dark, and she was like, "Hey, hello." And I mean, I was fixed. If she wouldn't have said hello, I was going to smack her with that bicycle, boy. I did not see her. But it's just the way. It's so weird, and it depends a lot on the lighting. Sometimes I may see the same object in the light, but if there's a shade, the same exact object, the same exact situation scenario, minus the light, I'll never see him, or even minus a little piece of the light, and I won't be able to see him. I don't know. My eyesight is so weird. I mean, like my brother said, just can't see right. I can't see right. That was his handle, was can't see right, and I use it when people's like, I don't understand that. I just can't see right. I mean, I don't know how to explain. It's easier for me to pull up a picture and show you how I see than it is for me to explain it. Because words just, I mean, look at that. That was a however long minute explanation when all I could have did was show you a picture in 3 seconds. And all them words probably made you even more discombobulated up inside your head and not even understanding more than I could have just showed you a photo and you just grasped it. Words are stupid. Words are dumb. That's why telekinesis is so important. I mean, we can communicate just instantly. No words involved and no because words can have so many different meanings, especially with attitude. Because if you're having a conversation, you get a little bit of attitude, you say one word because that particular subject triggered you. That person you're speaking to or persons you're speaking to can catch a vibe from you because you've caught a vibe, because you've caught an attitude about a subject that you're a little salty about. And I mean, words are stupid. Telekinesis, at least you can, I mean, it's just instant. You just understand instant. So easy. Words are dumb. And we made them up. And they have so many, one word can have so many different meanings. It just depends on your culture, the way you was raised, the way it comes out of your mouth. Stupid. Telekinesis. I don't know if that was the right word. I think telekinesis is where you can move objects with your mind. I used to practice that when I was a kid. I used to sit at my desk for hours practicing moving objects. Even when I was an adult, I used to try to flatten people's tires with my mind. Mom, cut me off in traffic, I'll flatten the tire. I sure did. it's about time to go on this bicycle ride about another 15 minutes. I'm ready. I don't know what I'm ready for. Y'all have seen, I can't say I've seen everything in this town because I've just discovered a new place I've never seen in this town last week. I mean, I didn't even know that little section of area even existed. I'm sure there's a lot more in this town I haven't seen, but we'd have to start going underground. You'd have to start going underground because I mean, I know this town inside and out. I'm sure there's still a few nooks and crannies that I don't know about, but for the most part, I know this town inside out, street for street, secret for secret. The only place to go from here is underground, where that's the only other place that I don't know nothing about up under here. Other than a few little underground places, there's a few underground places I know about. There's got to be more. I mean, there's got to be probably cities under here somewhere. Under your ground as well, there's probably cities. There's probably people cities within cities, civilizations within civilizations buried upon each other. You got your Atlantices, you got the Egyptians, which I don't know much about them civilizations. Rome, I've learned a lot about Rome. We don't know much about civilization about Russia. And that's kind of scary because they don't talk much about Russia. They're always having China in our face, China in your face, China in your face. You better think about Russia a little bit. And because them Muslims are they're a different breed. They're just different. They're different than us. They're domesticated a little bit different. And I mean, if you look into these people's eyes, they just look different than Americans. Americans look so weak compared to some of these other folks. And I'm just talking about I don't know about their regular civilization. I'm talking about their special athletes, like fighters, their soldiers. If you look into these Russians' eyes, they're freaking different. They are different. I don't know about, you don't see their social media the way you see America's social media. And that's another thing. They have the ability to show you what they want. They control the media. They control this YouTube. They control all this stuff, and they can control what you learn on this just by like having a big net, Skynet, maybe something like Elon Musk's little things up in the sky, those satellites, and having a net where certain information cannot cross that net, and you will never pick it up from the community you're from the little section of the world that you live in. Only this section over here can learn this particular stuff. And there's going to be these nets that I mean, that's just kind of how I'm using that as an analogy that it's just how I kind of see it, how they're not allowing that certain information to come across that net so that you're able to learn it. It's going to stay blocked like a blocker type thing. You know what I'm saying? If you don't, you should. If you can't, then you just ain't smart enough to get it. I don't know. I mean, they already do that. They already control what you learn by putting the news, the same news on every news channel throughout the entire country. Channel 2, Channel 6, Channel 8, whatever news channel you guys damn listen to, it's the same programming on every single station to make sure you get programmed with the right shit. And now with this technology as advanced as it is, they're just going to drop nets down through where they don't have to do it on every platform like that. They can start sectioning it off which sections learn what with more control. Just like they do now with 200, we are very tribal. The human race is tribal, where tribes are like 200-300 people, very easily controlled. Just a handful of people can control 200-300 people's cells. And then you have another cell on top of that cell that controls this cell and that cell. Anyway, it just, I can see it in my mind, but the words are going to discombobulate it and dilute it. It's I can just see it and understand it. I can't explain it. Because it will dilute it. It'll dilute it so bad, it's just not, because the words just can't put it into perspective enough. And if you've got a tribe of 200 here in this community, a tribe of 200 in this community, whether it's the Freemasons, whether it's the Bones, all these secret societies. You've got a tribe, the special 200 of this tribe, the special 200 of this tribe, the special 200 of this tribe, of this, the Lions Club, whatever club it is, these special tribes that have special powers. And anyway, so they go off in their communities and they spread off, oh, hey, guess what's coming into town? We need to invest in this. And then it starts spreading like a cancer. But yet, these 4 tribes are controlled by this one person who controls even more tribes on top of that. So if any information ever gets through this, they'll know where the information, who's fucking needs to be dealt with, because it's just so simple, but it's being diluted. I'm starting to dilute it. Does that make sense? You got 4 cells. This one person, this one whatever, controls these 800 to 1,200 clan tribe members. This one little, and if any information gets to this guy that's not supposed to get to this guy, he's going to know where it comes from and know who to stick his thumb on. That's why the fish always rots at the head. The fish always rots at the head. People in power, true power, always know where the leaks come from because of the way the system is set up. And this is worldwide. We're talking, this is worldwide, galaxy-wide, dimension over dimension. But see, that's where this artificial intelligence and quantum computing comes in, because they can solve quadrillion realities just like that. They can fix every issue in every reality that arises by the way, just in a split second. Like if, let's use the game Sudoku as rules into different realities, where your certain frequency of a being cannot be in the same realm together. Kind of like Sudoku, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how to explain that, because I get my words get lost. Anyway, it don't even matter. That time going bicycle ride over, I can almost see to the edge of my driveway. I can't quite see it. I can see this crack right here in front of me. It's about as far as I can see. As far as like cracks and stuff like that. I would have to go pretty slow to be able to see that with this lighting. I would have to be, if I'm doing 10 miles an hour, I probably wouldn't even be able to see that crack if I was doing 10 miles an hour in this lighting.
I can't actually see where the discoloration from the edge of my driveway into the other part of the driveway. With this lighting, that's about as, I mean, that's all I can see. I mean, and I can see an outline with my trash can, but if I was riding my bicycle, that trash can would sneak up on me and I probably wouldn't see it until I either hit it or just happened to catch a glance because it moved or whatever. Anyway, my eyesight's jacked, but that's cool. I've still got two wheels and got wind in my hair. Fuck it.